Maia Akiva is not a therapist, and the opinions shared in this podcast are hers alone. If you feel like you need help, please go to www.psychologytoday.com/US to find a therapist in your area, or call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255.
Hi, and welcome to the podcast Interview with Myself, with me, your host, Maia Akiva. I am a motivational speaker and a motivational entertainer. And if you're not sure what it is, then this podcast is a great way to find out and experience for yourself. In this unique podcast, I will each episode interview my feelings, my emotions, like my fear and my joy, the different parts of myself, like my addiction and my stories, and some very surprising guests that I can't quite tell you about them yet, but if you keep listening and subscribe, you will find out who they are eventually. This podcast was created to give them all the chance to tell their side of the story, and also to get to know myself a little bit better, and sometimes to even learn how to improve my relationship with all of them, especially since all of my therapists, healers, and coaches say I really need to. Thank you for listening to Interview with Myself. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Interview with Myself, with me, Maia Akiva. I can't believe I made it to episode 2 with no help with my procrastination, which I will have on this podcast. And we'll have a lot of bones to pick with. So let me start by saying this. There were so many mistakes made in episode 1 that you might have not even seen or heard or noticed, but I can see them. So I definitely did not let my perfectionism take a hold of this podcast, and I cannot wait to have also my perfectionism here. That is going to be a very interesting and deep episode. Here is one of the biggest, it's not a mistake, but one of the biggest thing I realized is that I am a control freak, as many of you, I'm sure. And what I realized is that I was trying to control, the format, this podcast, the information, and it just didn't work. Because if some of you know me, I'm very open and real and honest, and I can, speak honestly and be more truth and be more present. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. So the first thing I decided starting episode 2, and you will hear some changes, is that I'm going to not read from a script before and after the interview, which probably means I will make more mistakes. But hey, that's part of being real and being honest and being present. So that's the first change that I've made. So hi, this is the real me. And what I realized, so the first thing that happened to me after the first episode went out, which the episode where I interview my failure, is that I had, as our dear friend Brené Brown would say, a vulnerability hangover. Because as much as I'm very open and I like to talk a lot about my stuff, and it's always involved in my creativity, I don't know, usually I do live performance, and you do it to whoever in the room and you move on. And this one, as I listen back to it, and I start getting feedback from people that I saw in real life, I was like, oh my God, I just shared some very vulnerable things that people are now commenting on. I definitely had a vulnerability hangover, but I'm going to be okay with it, and I can't wait to have my vulnerability on the podcast too. That's actually a conversation I'm excited to have, because I do believe in the power of vulnerability, and it is a big part of my creativity, and I can't really separate it from who I am, from what I'm sharing in the world. So yeah, so a vulnerability hangover, but I'm not going to change. I'm still going to be vulnerable, and I'm still going to share what I want to share, and whatever comes up in the interview. You know, those interviews are meant to be entertaining and a service for you guys and for me. So if we have to get a little personal, you know, those are my feelings and emotions. So I can see any other way beside it getting personal and maybe a little bit vulnerable. A lot vulnerable. The other thing I wanted to say was before we jump into this week episode where I interview my success, is that I got an email from a very dear friend, Jody Womack. From, by the way, she and her husband has an amazing program, leadership program. She's a leadership leader, a business leader. It's called Get Momentum, getmomentum.com. Go check it out. They didn't even sponsor this episode, but I'm giving them a plug because they're awesome and they help me a lot. And she sent me an email, and she started to describe how her failure actually hangs out with different emotions and feeling than what my failure hangs out with. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Of course, your failure has different friends with different emotions and feelings, and doesn't like different feelings and different emotions than my failure. So I thought I will suggest that a little exercise you can do as you listen to the podcast is whenever at the end of the episode, when I ask my feeling those 10, 15 questions, you can answer it about your feeling and kind of see what comes up for you. It can be a great way to kind of get to know yourself better, just like I'm doing, in a different way, and seeing what is the relationship between you and your feeling and the other feelings, and maybe it can give you some insight and awareness. So I just thought I wanted to mention it. Thanks, Jody. All right, let's jump into this episode. If you heard my last interview, my last episode where I interview my failure, my relationship with my success and my failure is a very dysfunctional and complicated relationship. I would say that I am obsessed with one, which is success, and I despise, even though I'm learning to have more respect to him after I had him on the podcast, I don't like my failure. And since my failure was in the first episode and I wanted him to be there, I thought it would only be right to bring success, which is the other side of the same coin, and hear what she has to say. And what we discovered last episode, which will be interesting to see what this episode will bring, that they actually do not like each other at all. You think they will work together and have some connection, but they do not like each other. And last episode, when I interviewed failure, I shared how failure definitely, even though I don't like him, I'm definitely more connected to him, and it feels more like an identity. And when I was thinking about what my success means to me or feels to me, is that it feels like a drug. It's something that I need so badly that makes me hater and lover at the same exact level of intensity. And I adore her. I adore my success. Whenever she shows up, I feel like I'm $1 billion, and I feel very seen and valued, and it makes me very happy. And I really, really adore her. Kind of like it feels like she's the best thing that that can happen to me. And you know, I'll probably talk to her about it in the episode, but it is definitely something that I learned from a very young age, that when you have success, it means that you are loved and seen. It was happening in my household when I grew up. It's also very, very common in, obviously, nowadays in society. I moved to LA to pursue success, and LA is a town that is built on success. So I'm definitely, I don't know if that was the smartest idea, but it happened. And I think my strategy will always was like ever since I can remember. Somebody asked me recently what I wanted to do when I was young, and I remember saying that I wanted to be a movie star because that was to me the epiphany, the ultimate success, in my eyes as a kid. So I think I always had a strategy to have success, and when I have success, everything will be okay. And if you listen to the last episode with my interview with failure, you heard that I don't feel like I have success. So even though I love her and I want her and I need her, when she's not there, it also creates the other side, which is feeling unvalued and unseen. So it's very, very, like I said, dysfunctional and complicated. And it makes me feel emotionally like I can survive without her. It's been definitely a journey of learning how to live without success, or how to or what does it mean, and all of that. So I'll talk to her about all of this thing. But yeah, when she's not around, it feels very, very dark and very, very gloom. And so I wanted to have her on the podcast. I won't lie, and I would say that I'm a little scared having her on the podcast because I definitely give her my power. Absolutely, I will be the first one to admit it. So I hope that I can conduct this interview in a professional manner. And not give her all my power, and we'll see how it goes. So are you curious enough? How do you like my new profound honesty and realness? Please let me know. Send me an email, a text, leave a review. So if you're curious to know how did my interview with my success, who I give all my power away, was, stay tuned. Here it is, without any delays, my interview with my success. Well, hi, success. Welcome to my podcast, Interview with Myself with Maia Akiva.
Hi, beautiful. So happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome. I had failure here last episode, so it was kind of like obvious to me that we needed to have you on the next podcast.
Oh yeah, failure. How is that old geezer?
He's okay, and he doesn't like you very much.
I know. I mean, he's always been a little bit jealous of me. Can you blame him? I am awesome.
Yes, you are. I completely agree. No convincing needed. You don't think he's awesome?
There's a lot of words I will use to describe failure, and awesome is not one of them.
What other words will you use to describe failure?
Well, he's very serious. He takes his job very seriously.
Yeah, that's true.
He's very square. He's very predictable. Honestly, he's just not a lot of fun.
Huh, that's a very interesting take. Do you and failure have a good relationship then?
We have a professional relationship. I mean, we're coworkers. I will say that he probably has more problems with me than I have with him.
Well, honestly, yeah, I can see that from interviewing him. Then how do you think he will describe you?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him that.
Well, guess what? I actually did. Here's what he said, and I quote, "She feels good and everyone wants her, but she comes with a lot of baggage that no one wants to hear about." Now, what would you say to that?
I'm used to it. Other feelings always say negative things about me. They just all wish they were me.
Oh, well, that is actually very funny. He did say that he wished to be you for one day to see how it feels to be success.
I don't think that he would be able to handle being me. It is too amazing. I don't think he's ever experienced anything like that before.
Okay, but let me push a little bit more and say, but what about the second part that he says that you come with a lot of baggage that no one wants to hear about?
My baggage is that I'm awesome, smart, wonderful, and successful. And if you can't handle it like failure can't, then I guess it's baggage.
Wow, I must say, you two really do not like each other.
I don't really have any problems with him, but I mean, as you can see, he might have a problem with me.
Okay, well, then let me ask it in a different way. How would you describe yourself?
Let's see. I'm very powerful. I'm ambitious. I'm fun. I'm really great.
Okay, do you have any downfalls or shortcomings?
Of course not. I mean, I guess I can sometimes feel intense or too much, but that really has nothing to do with me.
Oh, what do you mean?
It's really what you do with me. I'm just awesome. And if you can't deal with me, that's on you.
So you're saying that everyone else is the problem, but you are not the problem?
No, I mean, I don't see any problem. I am me, and everyone else can be who they want to be. It's just that simple. Everyone makes it just so much more complicated.
But you know that most relationships are a two-way street. Like even the relationship with you and me, it's not only me that is the problem.
Okay, sure. So, what am I doing wrong in your opinion?
Okay, I guess we are going to jump into this right into it with failure. It came on the back end of the episode.
Well, I mean, why not? If that's what you want to talk about.
I guess so. That's why you're here. So that's part of it. So let's just jump into it. Okay, look, I love you, Success. I really love you. But I feel that maybe, if you don't mind me saying, you don't love me. You're not around a lot and you don't show up in my life consistently at all.
I'm always around. You just choose not to see me most of the time.
What do you mean?
I'm just me. I'm amazing, bright, giving. I'm a superwoman. And you, Maya, you have success dysmorphia. When you look at me or feel me, you don't see success. You see other feelings and things and stories.
Oh, success dysmorphia? Okay, but wait. How can I not see you if you are here?
That's why it's dysmorphia. You only focus on the flaws in your life. So even if I am in front of you, you think you see failure. It's very common amongst people.
Huh. Because look, I will have to be honest and say that you don't feel like you're here at all, like in a very real way. When I look at you, I just do not see success.
Well, when you think about me or when you think I'm there, what do you see?
Let me think about it for a second. When I look at success in my life, I usually see what I don't have.
I rest my case.
Okay. I mean, I've never thought of it like that. Success dysmorphia. I just assume that you're not here or around me.
Well, I'm officially declaring that I am here always. You always have success around.
But then how can I not see you? I mean, that just sucks. You mean you're here and I can see you? Look, this is personal, but I have body dysmorphia, which, by the way, I would definitely want to have her on the podcast one day. But I have body dysmorphia and I have been working on it with myself, but I've never heard of success dysmorphia, which is, that's a tough one because look, all I want is success. Like, it's a big life quest for me. It's a huge one. It's what I'm after all the time. I want to be successful. I want to succeed. So that one is not an easy one. But if I want success so much, if I want to be successful so much, so why do you think it's there? Why do you think it's like what I'm seeing is the complete opposite of what I want?
Well, if you ask me, which you are, you don't believe that you can have success. I mean, I'm not self-worth, but I would say just from knowing you, and you don't think you're good enough to have success. So how can you even see me how can you see me even if I'm standing right in front of you?
You mean the success dysmorphia is that when I look at you, I see failure, even though he's not there and you're there?
Yes.
Huh. Wow. Success dysmorphia. Okay. Well, this was very interesting and insightful. Thanks.
I told you I'm amazing.
And you are not humble at all.
Absolutely not. That's what for the lesser feelings.
Um, okay, but okay, so let me ask you, maybe you know the answer for that. So what do you suggest that I do? Because it's really is true. I really cannot see you.
Well, you need to celebrate me, worship me, and adore me.
How can I do all of these things if I can't see you? I mean, you're asking me to do something that is illogical, because how can I celebrate you if you're not there? Look, all I want to do is just feel you, but you're not there.
I can't help you with that.
Okay. All right. We'll stop here. We won't go down that rabbit hole anymore for right now, because I'm so happy to have you here, and I wanna learn more about you. I will have to definitely sit with the success dysmorphia. Thank you for that. Um, that was interesting. Okay, but let's get back to you, because really I want to get to know you better. Yeah. So I'm ready to get back to you.
Okay. Well, no convincing needed. I love it when it's all about me.
Awesome. Okay, here is the question I ask at the beginning of every episode. Okay, why is it important that we feel success?
Oh my God, where should I start? I am one of the best feelings and experiences a person can have and experience. So most people spend their entire life chasing their success. We feel that good. Success makes people feel good. And so we are the answer to people's problems. Success is a symbol. Success is what drives people forward, what motivates them. Success is actually the original motivational speaker. And if there's no success around, nothing would ever get accomplished in the world. And I will dare to say that success may be the most important feeling out there.
Oh, okay. Wow. I wonder what the other feeling will say about it. That's a very big statement.
That doesn't mean it's not true.
That's true. Look, I agree with you. I think success is amazing. But also, I must say that because of all your powers and the impact, you can also be very dangerous. I am like a prime example of that, of course. Do you think you're also dangerous?
I don't think success is dangerous, but people might think that. People think a lot of things that hurt them. It's not really my problem. Success awesomeness is open for anyone to feel if they choose to.
But people sometimes do horrible things because of not getting success. I mean, it's I don't know. Don't you think you're a little bit dangerous?
That's, I mean, really too bad, because success is accessible to anyone. So why do people twist everything about me?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you know that about you, but you're like a drug, and people will do crazy things to get their drugs. I mean, you feel so good, like to feel successful, and people feel, you know, they feel happy when you're around, so they want you all the time.
I mean, I completely understand that. I know, and we're very desirable and worth every second of it.
Success also, give people an identity, worth, acceptance. Those are really big things. You definitely give me all of those things.
You know what's funny is that I barely spoke 2 words ever to identity, worth, and acceptance. We just run into such different circles.
You don't have any connection to them, even though they're like have a direct connection to you in our eyes.
In your eyes. I don't have anything in common with any of them. They're very weak, and they have such a negative side to them.
Really? How is that?
Well, identity needs everyone and anyone to be herself. And worth has the other side to her of having worthlessness, which is one of the most devastating feelings. Yuck. And you feel acceptance when you are accepted. And if you even have a tiny bit of, stopping to accept, everything else falls apart.
Huh. And you don't think success have any negative parts?
Success is success and always will be. There's no such thing as not having success. If I'm not around, then failure's there. And that's not my problem.
Okay, so who do you hang out with that is more like you?
I'm very fond of pride. I used to be good friends with accomplishment, but he's lately developed a negative side to him too. So I'm kind of staying away from him right now. Happiness is an acquaintance, but we're not that close.
Oh, do you have any close friends?
You know what I'm saying? It's like, that saying, it's lonely at the top. Well, that is true. I haven't found any feelings yet that I can relate to or that we have so much in common that I can say that those are my people. The truth is that most feelings envy me. So it's hard to be friends with them.
And how do you feel about all this enviness toward you?
I'm very happy and fulfilled as I am. I mean, that's their problem. What am I going to do about it?
So, what do you think is the definition of success?
I think success is getting something that you want.
Success is getting something that you want. That's very simple.
That's why it's so powerful. I'm not complicated, but I am very important. And it's the ultimate human experience to get what you want. And there's nothing like it. And I am very special.
But okay, but when we get success, when we experience success, we also feel happy and joy and excitement and a lot of other feelings. So how come success is the most important? How come you get all the credit?
Of course, I get all the credit. What the person is experiencing is their success. All the other feelings are just there to support the experience of success. That's why we are so unique. What other feeling gets the support of other feelings because they're so powerful and impactful?
So why? Okay, so wow, okay, that's a lot. So why? What do you think happiness and joy will say about that?
Well, they should say, thanks for inviting us to join this amazing experience called success.
Do you really think that that's what they will say?
They should, but you really have to ask them. Like I said, they might not think I'm as awesome as I am.
Okay, so if you say that you're simple and you're not as complicated, why do you think human beings have such a complicated relationship with success with you?
Well, the answer is very simple. They define for themselves what success is and what is not success. And they have lists of things that they want to succeed, and they believe that only the things that are on the list are success. So look at today's society and the thrive for success. That's not about success. That's about other things. And they are trying to get that, and they convince themselves that it's success.
So what, in your opinion, is real honest success?
So like I said before, success is getting something that you want. So humans only feel success when they get what they want from their list. But what about everything else they've got? They dismiss it completely.
Can you give me like an example?
Well, you have tons of examples in your life.
Really? Like what?
Like you have community and friends, and you have that abundance, but it's not on your success list, right? Do you feel successful when you have these things of, this amazing community and friends in your life?
No, I don't feel success. I feel more like gratitude, huge gratitude.
Well, I work side by side with gratitude. So she's a wonderful lady. And actually, she changed her pronoun to them, they, them, and good for them. And so gratitude always comes after success. So you see, you can even feel gratitude, but not success, even though I'm the one that is so awesome. So why? Because your friends and your community are not on your list of success. So what about your car, your apartment, your family, your health? I know your list of successes. It's only about the romantic relationships and your career. And you are not the only one in the world who lives like that. And that's why it's complicated.
Okay, I can see that. I mean, yeah, I can see that. I can see how I definitely made romantic relationship and career success into this very specific list. And gratitude, I can pretty much feel about anything in my life. I mean, anytime, anything.
Right. And that's pretty much my story. I'm very misused. I'm glad that you had me on here so I can at least get some information out.
You are very welcome. Thanks for coming. And maybe now that we met and got to know each other better, maybe I can have a little more success, if you don't mind. I really need it.
I'm here.
I know. I just thought I will put it in there. Okay. I would like to start wrapping up. This was awesome, but I would like to start wrapping up this episode with a list of questions I'm going to ask at the end of every episode to get to know the feeling and you a bit more. Are you okay with that?
Talking about myself, of course.
Okay. First question: where do you live?
Everywhere.
What is your age?
I'm ageless.
What is your favorite word?
Success.
What is your least favorite word?
No.
What turns you on emotionally?
Achievement.
What turns you off emotionally?
Losing.
What emotions other than yourself would you have liked to be?
None. Yuck.
Okay. What emotion would you not like to be?
Those are very personal questions.
Yes.
Failure?
Oh,
That's not personal. I mean, I just think it would be suck and it would be so boring.
okay. What are your hobbies?
Celebrating everything.
What sound do you like?
Screams of joy.
What sound don't you like?
Crying.
What is your favorite color?
The rainbow.
What is your favorite food?
Indian.
Oh, mine too. Who is your best friend?
Me.
Oh, that's funny. That was failures answers.
Oh no, let me change my answer. I'm just kidding. He says it because he's a loner who doesn't like anyone. My answer is because I'm the best, and so who can be better best friend to me than me?
That is true. I got to know him a little bit, and I think that's where his answer come from. Definitely. Okay, he's a loner. Okay, next question. Are you single right now, or are you in a relationship?
Ooh, sassy. I like it. I date around, but it's hard for me to stay in a relationship. I really haven't found an equal yet, so it's always an uneven relationship when I try.
Oh, care to explain? What do you mean by that?
Well, I always find myself like if I have to take care of other emotions, they always get very codependent, and I really don't like it.
Oh, if you ever thought, if you don't mind me saying that maybe like you're the common theme that is something to do with you?
No, I mean, I told you I haven't found an equal. So significance came very close, but it kind of fell apart, unfortunately.
Really, significance. She seems very complicated.
Well, yes, it wasn't an easy relationship with significance, which is why it didn't work out, even though we had a great connection.
Are you gay, queer?
I'm bisexual.
Oh, okay. So why do you think it didn't work with you two?
Well, she's amazing, really, but she's also very layered and complicated. And she just had a hard time with me. And because even though I'm awesome, I'm also simple and she's not simple. And we had a hard time making simple and not simple work.
So in relationship, you are looking for simple?
No, I'm looking for an equal, and I can't know if he or she or here are here until I see them in front of me.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. What are your likes?
Beauty, perfectionism, and celebration.
What are your dislikes?
Codependency and powerlessness, especially powerlessness.
Who do you go for advice?
Significance, but not recently, and now it depends on the situation.
Okay. What is a secret you are willing to share?
Sometimes I have bad days too.
What is the one thing you would change about our relationship?
For you to see me.
Okay. What is the one thing you would have loved me to say to you?
I see you.
Oh. What is one advice you want to give me?
I would say start leaning into how you see and feel success, and you'd be so much happier.
All right. I will definitely take it in. And one more question before we finish this interview. Any words of advice for all the people listening to this podcast about having a relationship with their own success?
Sure. I mean, I'm always happy to give advice. I would say your advice is so awesome. Your success is so awesome. And we are so delighted to be here for you. And remember that what you do with us is up to you. You can make us your own worst enemy, or you can just enjoy us whenever you want. The ball is totally in your court.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great advice. Well, thank you for being my guest today on the podcast interview with myself. It was really so great to meet you. I really am a big fan, and I'm really looking forward to working on the issues we talked about and to improve tremendously my relationship with you. I definitely heard everything you said, and it was really great to get to know you. And I will try to definitely take your advice and not make you my enemy.
Well, thank you. And I'm looking forward to all of this with you too.
Thank you, and I see you. That was my interview with my success. I hope you enjoyed it and that it was helpful for you in any way. She is definitely something. Yes. A few business items. If you're interested in inviting me to speak to your group or do a workshop about tapping into your feeling, talking to your feeling, interviewing your feeling to help you become a better leader, fight anxiety, find your purpose, be of service, and any of those good things, please email me at maya@maiaakiva.com, or just all the information is on my website, maiaakiva.com. If you like this podcast, please leave a review. It will be very, very helpful, and I will feel very successful, which I don't know if you will be enabling me, but I will take it with, in a healthy way. I will practice experiencing healthy success with while reading your review on iTunes. That would be really, really appreciated. And please subscribe. Please forward this podcast to your friend, your family, anybody you think would enjoy it. And if you, just like Jody, would like to send me an email and let me know how was the experience for you, did you discover anything about yourself, any questions or ideas of who else I should interview on my podcast, please, again, email me, maya@maiaakiva.com. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Maia Akiva. My feelings, by the way, started an Instagram account. Yes, it's Maia Akiva's feeling on Instagram. So please follow us if you can. As you can see, they have a lot to say for themselves. And so you can find me anywhere by just entering my name, Maia Akiva. I would like to thank for helping me with this episode 2 of the podcast interview with myself, Sophia Stefu, everyone at Epiphany Space, my favorite place in LA, and of course, my success for coming on this podcast. This music for this episode is by Mac Miller and Vigon Bami J. As you can see, I butcher names. I can't help it. I apologize. It's nothing personal. I will never be an announcer, that's for sure. Join me next episode as I interview my next feelings or emotion. If everything goes according to plan, my pain will be in this podcast next time. If you think you will forget, again, subscribe and you will get a reminder. And thank you, really, really thank you for joining us and for supporting my vulnerability and what I put out there in the world. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to also have a relationship with yourself and with your feelings. Bye.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings, trying to forget my feelings of love. Teardrops